Venerable, could you please explain the benefits of a 7 to 10-day meditation retreat for a layperson? I recently saw a program on prison inmates who greatly benefited from a Vipassana retreat called, I can't read that, Dawson Breathless or something. Please advise on the best view to take when considering a retreat. Meditation retreat, we have a 7-day meditation retreat, sometimes a 10 days, sometimes a 49 days. It does not matter on the number of days. It could be 3 days on a long weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Saturday, Friday, and Monday, 3 days meditation retreat. And more, a lot of prison authorities organize and arrange meditation retreat in prison camps. And they have been proven very helpful to inmates who have a lot of anger, who have a lot of injustice hidden in their mind. They have no way to express it. So if they know how to meditate, first of all, they calm their mind down, and then somebody would do a lecturing for them, telling them that they should release the anger into peacefulness. So meditation retreat, as I always mention, is to understand your mind, how your mind works, understand how these mental afflictions in you working against your conscience. For example, mental afflictions of anger, hatred, expressed hatred, hidden hatred, arrogance, injuries, fraudulence. Oh, lots of this kind of anger you have. Remember, we have 26 unwholesome mental functions. Arrogance, a major one of them. Greediness, jealousy, many of these. So in a meditation retreat, you have to learn how the mind works. If you know how the mind works, then you can control yourself. The reason why you cannot control yourself is because you don't know how your mind works. Who are you? You are conglomeration of the body and the mind. It's a major part of that conglomeration. Actually, the mind is in control of the body if your mind is under control. So what kind of view you should take? I don't know. Certainly you're not an inmate, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So meditation is to learn how understand your mind, how your mind works, put your mind at ease. We have been habitually attaching to externalities. In the meditation hall, our sensual organs attach to external objects. This could be situations, people, it could be objects created in your mind that are illusionary. All these things are working against you. Plus, all this hidden karma in you, accumulated karma in you, would be working against you. So remember that your karma, everybody's karma, is an accumulation from previous lives, not just of this life. So next question, what is the history and purpose of the large old drum in meditation hall? You can get that in Google. The history of a large and old drum in a meditation hall. Oh, you have millions of words about that. A drum is a musical instrument. A drum is a chanting instrument. And a musical instrument is to accompany the chanting, to make it in harmony. And also, in a lot of cases, a drum also gives you the beat, gives you the tone, so it's easier to chant. So this is more of a pedagogical question than a questions about deep, insightful mind. So you can always research that in a Google. You can have a lot of information about that. Next question. What is the reason of walking before and after meditation? Meditation is not just sitting down. Meditation, you have sitting meditation, which we always have been doing. We also have walking meditation. We also have reclining meditation too. Meditation is not just sitting down. Meditation is, there's chanting meditation, walking meditation, and sitting meditation. As a matter of fact, meditation is in every thought, not just in the action. Every thought is meditation. All right, so I answer these 3 questions. Any question? Raise your hands if you have further questions that you would like to ask. Yes?
You meditate for so long. What do you see and what do you feel when you meditate?
What do you see and what do you feel? Answering this question, sometimes we have to see the level. We don't know how the level of the meditators. If we just go by the beginner's level, what do you see? In meditation, when you say see, it's the eyes, right? When you say see. Then let's say, what do we sense? How do we feel? Because in meditation, we all usually close our eyes, so our eye consciousness is not active. Eye consciousness is not active. How about our ear consciousness? Yes, it is still active. You can still hear the honking of a car. You still can hear the clanking of someone pushing a car, a trolley. So your ear consciousness is still actively working. Your nose consciousness is semi-active because if everybody is not applying frequent lotion on their body, everybody around, there's no fragrance. So I always suggest that when you come for meditation, don't put on perfume. Don't wear any perfume, cologne, perfume. Don't wear that. Otherwise, you'll be affecting your laboring meditators. So when you're meditating, your smell, your nose consciousness is semi-active, not too active. How about your taste consciousness? You're not eating. You could be tasting your own saliva. So you're not active. And the body is touch. Touch is semi-active because you can feel the cold air. You can feel it's warm, it's hot, it's humid. You still can feel it. And then there's also the mana, the mano consciousness, which is your mentality, your mind. Your mind could travel everywhere. In other words, your mind, when you're meditating, your mind could be thinking of yesterday. Your mind could be thinking of last year. So your mind is extremely active. So which means that when you're meditating, what active is actually your ears, and extremely active is your mind. So when your mind is extremely active, how do you calm it down? You have to use an object of concentration so that you can gear your mentality to it, so that your mentality wouldn't be thinking about the past, yesterday, last year, all the abuses that you have, all the sufferings that you have in the past. You don't think about that. You just concentrate in your object. We use the breath, the one anapanasati, the breath, as the concentration object. Now, when you concentrate your thought in there, then you disregard all these wandering thoughts. You would not know how your mind is creating variety of thoughts in every second until you sit down. Then you know, how come I can't concentrate on my object of breath? So you know that your mind has been roaming everywhere. But once you really gear your mind into a concentration, you really concentrate on your object and no other wandering thoughts, magic you will feel magic. What is that magic? All of a sudden you feel so peaceful. Because your mind hasn't been peaceful. Your mind has been influenced by your karma of greediness, sensual indulgence, yearning for things, desires, hatred, many mental afflictions, arrogance, a past that you don't want to remember, it comes up to you in the meditation. So your mind has been diverging into different areas. Now, no more of those. You only have one concentration, and that concentration is not wholesome or unwholesome. So you're more at peace. Why is our mind not at peace? Because we always go into every direction. We have been attaching to many things. We listen to something that we don't like to listen, or we remember something that is abusive that we don't want to remember. It all comes to you. You attach to them. And sometimes habitually you think in a certain pattern. Say if you are suffering from depression, the weather could affect you. Anything, somebody said something wrong to you, just one sentence, and that sentence linger on in your mind, that induce your seeds of depression in the alive consciousness, and that depressive attitude comes up and influence you for the whole day. You could be crying, you could be in sadness, so you habitually bury yourself in a depressive state. So you become unhappy. You go through all this suffering. And some people, maybe they suffer from failure of an examination. They fail in the examination, and that induces them to think in many other ways too. So you have been influenced by your own thought. Now you only have one single thought. And this single thought is neither wholesome or unwholesome. So you gear your thought to only one single thought, your mind is at peace. You're not being directed and diverted away into unhappiness or happiness. So the first side of feeling is you are at peace. You have a rapture. In the Sanskrit language, that is called piti, P-I-T-I. You research that. Piti, that means you have, all of a sudden, you are dominated by an inconceivable joy in you. You feel so joyful, so peaceful. That's the first side of a good concentrative meditation. Have you experienced that sometimes?
Yeah.
So that.
Today, the first time I feel so light.
Yeah, so light.
My body is so light, I'm just about to float.
Yeah.
And then I see color.
Yeah, that's a good sign. You feel very light. You're like a cloud drifting in a mountain, and you have no suffering, you have no depression, you have no hatred, you have no greediness. You're just like a cloud drifting in a mountain, and you feel so light. You used to feel so heavy. You're heavy in your mind, heavy in your emotions. Now you feel so light, so peaceful. So that is a good sign in meditation. And sometimes you may feel so heavy, very heavy. You're like a rock, like a mountain that you're not moved by anyone. But that heaviness is delightful happiness. You feel that you are so heavy that you're not moved by anything, but you're so happily heavy. There's another feeling too. And sometimes you may feel that you're all sweating. You have a lot of sweat comes out, like you have taken a deep sauna bath. And that sauna bath has cleansed you of all the dirt in your body. You feel so delighted. You feel so happy. That's piti. That's P-I-T-I, piti. That is a rapture of joy. Only meditators who really meditate in a good way for that have that feeling. That's a good feeling. And sometimes you feel you have compassion in you. You feel that you want to help everybody who is in need in the whole world. You're more care for others. You're more compassionate to your surroundings. And you care more for your family members sometimes. Maybe you dislike your husband. You dislike your kids sometimes who could be rebellious on you. But after meditation, you feel so dear to them. You feel you want to help them. You feel that you are one with them. So that's all good feelings. These are good feelings of meditation. So much feelings about meditation. And sometimes if you're a student and if you didn't do well at school, for example, and you meditate and concentrate, that increases your concentration. And after that concentration, then you start to study. You'll find that you can absorb much faster. You'll find that when you're writing examinations, you can think much faster, much clearer. And you'll find that your grades are improving because your concentration has improved. You can conjure up all your concentration into that one area. Just like in any work. If you can concentrate in what you're doing, you can concentrate the power of your mind into what you're doing, you tend to be successful in what you're doing. So meditation is good for everybody, not just for seniors. Meditation is good for kids. If kids know how to concentrate, they will do well at school. If adults know how to concentrate, they will be more successful in their business, in their work. They will be more intelligent. All right, so if you feel pity, if you feel that you have peace at you, that's the first sign of a good meditation.
Yeah, but it didn't last for a long time.
It won't last for a long time. Don't look for it. Whenever you have this rapture of joy, then next time you say, oh, how come I don't have this? I feel that maybe I'm not doing it right. Don't look for it. It will come. If you look for it, you always want to acquire. I want it. I want it. In your whole life, you have been, I want this. I want that. I want fame. I want reputation. I want money. I want stability. You always want. The more you want, the more you fall into suffering. You don't want, it will come. It will naturally come. The more you're greedy of it, the more you're in suffering. Get rid of the greediness. Any more question? Yes?
When we walk before and after meditation, we have to concentrate on our breathing or...
When you walk and concentrate in the meditation, you change your concentration from the breath onto the motion of your feet. How you land your left foot, how you land your right foot. In other words, you become mindful of your walking movement. When you become mindful of your walking movement, you're concentrating in one object, that is a walking movement. You're not concentrating in the past history of your life. Just an example. Your past history has been abusive. Your past history has been suffering. You always want to bring that past history of suffering, that past history of failure onto the table, and you think about it. You agonize on it. Now, no more of those. You're more mindful on the present situation, right here and right now. The present moment. The present moment. 活在当下. The present moment counts, not your past. Your past is already gone. Your future hasn't come. Why do you have to worry about your future? Your past is gone, and you cannot bring your past to happen again. You can learn from your past, but you don't bring your miserable past onto the table and agonize and think about it and get very angry and saddened about it. It's already past. So you concentrate on the walking movement. Your present, that's the present moment awareness. That's the slogan we use in meditation. The present moment awareness and nothing else.